Down. Here we go. Hi, guys. Welcome back to another great edition of the Great Debate. I'm here with my co-host, Pappy Black Rob. Hola, Rob.
Hello, Uma. Hello, everyone.
And we have our three amazing guests, psychic advisor Lemonade and Eli the Don.
Yo.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
What's up?
welcome
Everybody?
to my life.
I mean, y'all really sound really excited to be here. I'm just saying.
All right. Hey guys, welcome to the stream.
Thank you, Lemonade.
There we go. Let's
Energy.
welcome, guys.
As
Hey.
loud as his hair. I love it. Okay.
Got this.
So welcome in, everyone. This is the Great Debate Show. It's one of my favorite shows here on the Meetme app. Rob and I come up with 6 topics, and it is open for discussion by anyone. So if you're in the comments and you feel very strongly about the topic we're talking about, please request the guest box. Come on up, share your opinion. I will be moving people in and out of the box. No one has a permanent seat in the box except myself and Rob. So please don't get annoyed if you're moved out of the box. And remember, no cursing. We are recording to YouTube. If you don't want to be seen on YouTube, just put your camera to the ceiling. That's fine. It's not a featured show, so you're allowed to do that. All right. So let's begin. Welcome to the Great Debate, everyone. Rob has our first topic.
All right. Our first non-violent topic for the night is we're going to mix it up a little bit. If you had only one day to go about reshaping the world, how would you do it?
Ooh.
That's a really good question.
Thank you. Come on.
So there's this guy that was created. I would make sure he wasn't be able to be born. I'm not gonna name names, but he's a very influential person. So I'll just make sure he wasn't around ever.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
he's
oh,
talking
wow.
about-
Okay.
oh, wow.
I listen.
Okay.
No, you didn't hear what I said. I'll make sure he wasn't even created. I said that was my
Yeah.
thing. I'll make sure he wasn't created at all.
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
I would definitely reinforce some
I
different.
thought for sure I wasn't doing the violent questions. But all right.
Clearly did.
It's your fault.
I would use the news media.
What's that, psychic?
I would use news media. I would, use cell phones to communicate with everyone, to make changes, enforce some laws, and take some laws off that are just baloney laws.
How would I
Eli?
reshape the world? How would I reshape the world? Let's see. How about we stop hatred?
Then one day,
There's too much hatred going around. People fighting against each other. In colors, colored people, white people. We all should get along. We're all God's children. That's how we should learn. We teach our children how to love and respect one another, not to kill one another. We got kids today running out there with guns. We have to stop the violence. That's our problem. So if we can reshape our world like that of hatred and violence, it'll be a better world to live in.
Now, if we did that, how will I hate on Kane on a weekly basis?
there's no hate here, sir. It's
you'll
a
find-
hate-free zone, sir. Okay.
It's supposed to be a hate-free show over there, Poppy Rob.
Uma?
Well, I believe in energy, and I believe that when you have a lot of people doing an energy thing, you can actually shift consciousness for the better. So I would actually, if I was the leader in charge and whatever I says goes, I would make every single person on the planet meditate at the same time for 1 hour. Everybody would have to stop what they're doing and sit quietly somewhere, and we would just all have to sit in meditation for 1 hour, and you would not believe how profound changes that would shift. It would elevate the consciousness of the planet.
I don't mean to choose violence, but like let's say I'm just in the part of the world that's like maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. You guys are doing this at like 7 or 8. Do I have to wake up to meditate into this
You can,
consciousness?
but
Yes.
even in the sleep, it's easiest for us to, it's easiest for us
Or
to reach you in
can
the
I
sleep.
just continue to sleep to meditate and just say that's my meditation?
You can.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's
Thank you,
easier for us
Uma,
to reach
not
you
Eli.
in your sleep. I'm just
Uh,
saying.
Oh, all right, so I guess for me, the way I would reshape the world is just one person at a time. I wouldn't go global. I just do one person at a time, and if I'm influential enough, then 2 will become 4, 4 will become 8, 8 will become 16, and yada yada.
Got it. Anyone else? Would anyone else like to answer that question? If you had only one day to go about reshaping the world, how would you do so?
I also start by just eliminating all the violence that's in the Great Debate. Violent
That would
questions,
be a
violent answers.
concept to eliminate all the guns in the world. That would be a kind of cool concept.
guns, missiles, and bombs.
Completely get rid of it.
Yeah.
Airplanes that are
I,
used for
I would still use rocks and arrows. Uh,
yeah. Believe me.
I
With your
get very
age, we're
creative.
not scared. We're
That's
not
why I would have a
weapon
lot of them.
breaking.
That's why I would have a lot of them. I will eventually hit something.
All right. Welcome in, everyone. This is the Great Debate. Great first question to kick us off. My first question is about relationships. Do you look at your partner differently for having a joint friendship with your people? So let's say I'm dating Eli, and there's a girl named Sarah, and she's my friend and also Eli's friend. Like, we met her at the same time, and he has his own relationship with Sarah, and I have my own relationship with Sarah. How do you guys feel about that? Kane said he was going to do a purge. I can't.
Oh wow.
Wow. Not the purge.
As long
Wow.
as I feel, as long as there's a mutual respect going on with you and your friends, and you know it's just friends and nothing else, it's platonic, nothing going on. You should be able to have friends and keep each relationship separate because you don't know how long each of you had that friendship. So just because you're in a relationship doesn't deter the friendship you both have from somebody else.
Well, I follow that understanding because Rose and I, we have same friends. You guys, Lizzie, games for females, Eli, all of you, Rob for men. Like, we have the same friends, and we talk to each of them together individually. We have our own relationships with them, and it's fine. But we had this conversation on TikTok, and this one girl got really upset. And it was actually the whole room. They were getting really upset because they were talking about, you can't trust a female around your man. You can't trust men around your women. And I was like, this is interesting. So I wanted to see if anybody had that understanding and they wanted to share their opinion about it.
Yeah.
All right. Repeat the question again. I feel like I misunderstood.
Okay. Do you look at your partner differently for having joint friendships with your people? So if you have a girlfriend and she's good friends with, say, Eli, and Eli is like a good friend of yours, and they like
Mhm.
call each other on the phone and text and stuff, do you look at her differently? Do you feel some type of way about that, or are you cool with that?
No, I'm cool
What
with
if they
that.
go out? What if like her and Eli go out on hang out and stuff?
It depends
Cool.
on the type
More
of
time for myself.
hangout.
Go, honey.
It depends on the
Uh,
hangout and what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's the standards you put towards that relation too. Like, you got to put a point. We're not gonna do these things because it'll tarnish my relationship. As long as you
Right.
guys both have that built connection where we can only do certain things, then it's okay.
I believe it depends on the way you have your principles and your values and your mindsets. You know, if you guys have that respect and trust, great. But if you don't, all things that I've seen like that, someone's always messing up and ending relationships, and then it just carries on, and it's a trickle domino effect later on.
Okay.
What I've noticed in my existence with
I
people.
think I have like a limit. Like I'm okay with somebody having a like if my man talks to my female friends on like Instagram or on here or on TikTok, I'm fine with it. I'm even okay to an extent with him talking on the phone with them. But like if they were to go out without me, I think I would have a problem with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make
With me, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're
I
good.
was gonna say with me, I would set the standard straight. This is my friend. This is your friend. You know what? We're going to be mutual. No fighting against each other. You know, all we're doing is talking. And if, as an example, if I'm with my fiance, and if
Mhm.
one of her friends starts texting me, I'm going to say, "Yo." So I would tell my fiance, "Listen, your friend is texting me. I don't know why. I don't want nothing to do with this. At least I'm giving her the heads up so she can question that person, saying, "Why are you texting my fiance? I want to know why," or vice versa. She would let me know. There's got to be trust
Right.
in that relationship. You got to have trust around your friends, and not to stab your friend in the back, trying to take somebody's companion away from each other.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen, where that happens, and when that turmoil of your being good friends, all of a sudden it's a 360 and you're now your enemies.
Yeah.
So you got to have the trust and set a standard.
Yeah. I've
So
told
you
my
guys
own
are
kids.
saying you're okay with like your woman hanging out with a guy friend of yours in like real life without you? I'm not okay with that.
I'm
I'm
not
telling
okay
you
with that.
right
No,
now.
not at all. Not at
See,
all. And I've told
see,
my kids too. Like I told my son, he's 32, and I tell him, you don't ever let no man spend the night in your home, and you don't ever let no man alone in your home with your wife. Never.
Right.
It's just a bad idea.
see, for me,
I,
I went out with a friend's wife one time 3 years ago when they were
Oh, you did tell me
married,
about that.
and well, he was in Texas with his brother-in-law for a Formula One race, and I went to a concert with his wife, and he had no problem with it. And I even text her more than I text him, and he has no problem because she and I were like good friends. We're kind of like big brother, little sisters deal. So she has no problem, and he has no problem with me texting her all the time either. So, and
Do
I never
you,
made it.
and I'm asking this just like out of curiosity, do you feel like you should have a boundary being that these people are married or like you should go but so far or do certain things or not do certain things?
There is a boundary. I won't go any further than, hey, let's go have
Making out.
lunch. That's about it. But I won't make a move on her or anything. I
Okay.
won't make a move on her because that's disrespectful, and I respect her for who she is
Right.
and who he is too. So
yeah.
I just go to like good friends, have lunch. That's about it.
That's cool. I mean, I would acknowledge you for being a good person, but at the same time, you don't have no hidden feelings for her. She don't have no hidden feelings for you.
No,
That's really cool.
And that's like, and I feel like everybody has different boundaries because
Yeah.
Kane's boundaries, like he's like, I'm not gonna mess around with that lady. That woman's married. That's just my friend. I'm not gonna do that, which I agree with. But I also have like an extra boundary. If any of my male friends have a female in their life, I don't communicate with them as much, and it's just out of respect. Like Eli, I used to talk to Eli on Instagram, but ever since he got into a relationship, I don't ever hit Eli on Instagram anymore. And if I do
Right.
hit Eli on Instagram, it's work related. It's like about the Lotus Lounge family or something like that. It's never like just conversations or sending memes or anything. Um, I have a lot of the guys that I hang out with, you know, they're single. And I also have like my own boundaries with that. Like if a guy friend of mine calls me late at night or early in the morning, I don't answer it. I try to like answer those calls between 9 to 5. Like, and it's just and my boyfriend doesn't care. Like because he trusts me, he don't care. But I just don't want it to be misconstrued, in
yeah.
the wrong way or
Yeah.
something.
Well, even when they first met, I think they got married. when they first got married. She has 2 kids,
Mhm.
and she asked me to say, "Hey, you want to go to a youth football game with me? My son's playing in a town called Lovelock. It's like an hour away from where we lived." I'm like, "I don't want to go to a high school football game. Her husband's out at the lake partying. I wanted to go out there and party with them."
Yeah.
But she came over and picked me up, got me, and we headed out to the football game. I'm like, crap. It's like, but then I knew other people that were there, so it really didn't bother me. So then after that, we just headed out to the lake afterwards. She dropped me off at my
Okay.
house. I met up with them like an hour later because I had to get my stuff ready to go camping for that weekend.
Cool.
So,
Got you.
I mean, the husband didn't care. He doesn't even care. It's like, I know I get my ass kicked by him, or my butt kicked by him. If I made a move on her, if I made a move on her, I
You
know
have
what
one
happened.
job,
He hurt
Kane.
me.
One job. All right, so let me see if I can get this straight. So this is so let's say Eli's one of my bestest friends, right? And then my significant met Eli through me, and then they became buddy. All right, I look at it this way. It's just really like what I really look at it is who they have in their life. Because like if Eli becomes their bestest friend out of everybody that she knows or may not know, then that's kind of alarming. Like I feel like if you already established, especially if you're older, like if you already established a friend group amongst yourself and your peers, you wouldn't really need to hang out with Eli, especially for a length of time. I don't have a problem with them hanging out with my friends and whatnot, but just so
Yeah.
long as that we are established that you met these people through me, you know, so like you can be cool with them and even friendly, but you should have your own set of cliques,
Mhm.
people that you bring into the fold, and then we all get to. Because in my relationship, everybody got along together. Like my friends with her friends, me and her, and all that good stuff. And there's never been anything ominous amongst everybody. But like as far as like you becoming a best friend of my best friend, like where's your best friend? Why? What is your? You should have brought a best friend into this relationship.
Hey, if Lemonade wants to get back in, I'll let him back in. I need to save my voice for a little bit later.
All right.
I'm with you, Kane. I'm like sucking on a mint right now. We all, by the way, guys, this is happening during the cold and flu season, so a lot of us are not feeling well. But we are
Yeah.
trucking true because we want to make sure this show goes on. So thank y'all for being here. The Great Debate. We're gonna kick it over to Rob for our third topic of the night.
All right.
Sounds
This one was brought to you by my algorithm, one of the best algorithms on the planet. Should you see a couples therapist at the beginning stages of your relationship?
Ooh.
No.
Not that you idiot, though.
I would say I don't know because I've never done that, but I wouldn't mind trying it. I'm always open to new stuff, you know. So yeah.
The reason why I say no is because when you're meeting each other at the beginning, you got to know each other on by talking to each other without the therapist. So at least you could get to understand one another, know your likes, your dislikes, what makes you happy, what makes you sad. That's between the both of you to talk about it without the therapist. Now, when you have a therapist, is when you have maybe issues down the road, a year, 2 years, if you're with each other, and then you have your issues, then you see a therapist because there's a line of hate between each other, and you got to try to meet in that mutual spot. That's where the therapist would come and get involved, try to help you to understand one another and get the feeling of hope of hoping to be back to each other. So at the beginning, no, I don't see a therapist right at the beginning. That's not a good idea to me.
No, because
Psychic?
it's
Oh, Go ahead. Sorry, Rob.
Oh, go ahead.
It's interesting because the person that brought this up was like, they said that the strong, what was it? The stronger the relationship for them was like going to see a therapist at the beginning stages before things become too uh disagreeable between two people. It's like they cut it off at the beginning. And I was like, that's interesting. Because most people are like, nah, there's a problem. We need to go see this person right now.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about that right now too, because I've never heard about that, but when you mention it, I think it could, wipe out stuff before it even arises. So I think that would be kind of cool to try it out. I mean, if it could extend or expand your relationship, let's say you'd only do 5 years with someone, but if you did seen a therapist in the beginning, you could end up doing, a lifetime with someone because you wouldn't even fall into those traps of irritation, frustration, unconscious animosity towards each other. So I think it would be good.
Uma?
No, no, they shouldn't.
The dramatic pause for me.
Crazy questions that Rob comes with, right? Like, no, they should not see a therapist in the beginning. I feel therapy is your own personal journey. So you should, I say this all the time when I'm streaming on TikTok. There's a lot of people that need to see a therapist. Like I had this woman today when I was doing my YouTube talk, and she was saying, I don't know why I can't get over him. I can't detach. I can't detach. We've been broken up for so many months. And I said, but that's your responsibility. And you're putting it off on him like it's this big love romantic thing. And you know to yourself, it's not. You were only with this guy for like a couple of months and it wasn't that great. So this is you, and you got to handle your anxiety and your attachment style. But that's not for me to help you with because I'm not a therapist, right? So I said, this is, she said, I do have an appointment. And I said, see your therapist. You gotta work on this. So I feel people should be in therapy about understanding the nature of the love relationships, and then what love relationships are, what it should be, what it should look like resolve these things within yourself. And I told her, I said, when you know to yourself what you really want in a relationship, it wouldn't matter who steps to you, because you now have like this board that you're comparing it against, right? So yeah, okay, they smoke. I'm not into smokers. Okay, they don't have kids. I have kids. I want to partner with kids. Like, like you can kind of start to weed things out and not let it go down the rabbit hole or go down a far place. So I think a couples therapist should come in when the couple is in jeopardy. So that's my feeling about it, is don't start at the beginning. Wait until you get to a problem, and then when you guys cannot reach an agreement on it, then get a couple therapists. Is my opinion on that.
Yeah.
No matter.
Yeah. I just seen it for like the more people that like are not as educated or not as mindful. I think it would be good for them in the beginning, opposed to others that know how to look on the inside or know how to work through things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For those that are highly uneducated about stuff like that, I think it would be good for them.
I mean, if you really look
What if
at
my
it,
problem is I like the therapist?
I mean, if you really
Has
look at it,
anyone ever talked to a therapist at all, even for personal reasons?
Yeah, I've been to a therapist, and my therapist has actually helped me a lot in terms of love relationships and knowing what I want and what I don't want in a relationship and figuring that out. So when I got into my relationship, it was easy to be like, okay, this is what's working and what's not working. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I've been to a therapist. I always talked about it when we went Uma Stream. I went to see a
Okay.
therapist. It helps you, believe me, it helps you out in every direction where you can't understand why, where, when, or who. But once you sit down and you have a mind clearing, you'll actually your therapist will actually let you understand with a clear mind. It's like meditate. You
Yes.
meditate, you clear your mind, you can understand a lot more about yourself, and with a clear mind, not a mind that's going through a rapid 30-second. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? What, but this, but that, but you don't have to hear that. As you got a clear mind, you meditate and you close your eyes and you visualize, you'll understand about everything about yourself or what is your issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been through it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, I did it just to do it, to see what, to speak to more highly educated individuals. So I like conversing with people that are smart or smarter, you know. So I did it for that reason, and it was okay. You know, I felt
I
like I
have
didn't.
to say
I
that
mean,
my man and I, we both have been in therapy, and it's really cool because like just the other day we had a fight, we had a disagreement,
Oh,
and it was like it was so like I was having a surreal moment because we're fighting, but I'm just like in amazement at how we're fighting. We were like, okay, we were using our words. We weren't disrespecting each other. We weren't cursing at each other. We weren't yelling at each other. He was, when he was talking, I was listening. When I was talking, he was listening. It was like so cool. And
yeah.
I wanted to like almost kind of congratulate him, but of course we're mad at each other. So, but in that moment, it was just like, what? What is this? And then we even went to bed together. Like I waited up when he came upstairs. I'm like, are you tired? He's like, yeah. We went to bed. We didn't talk. We didn't, watch our little funny videos like we normally do, but
Yeah.
we were able to go to bed together. And that was just seemed like such a win for me. Like, wow, this is a different kind of life. So I think people should be in therapy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is this recent, or is there still like more to talk about? So there's not like no hidden animosity.
No, yeah, this was like a couple days ago. And we got over by the next day, we were back to normal.
Oh,
We're
good, good,
back to
good.
normal. Yeah, it was like we didn't lose any time because usually when couples argue, you lose like a couple days
Yeah,
or a week or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Nah. If
Do you,
anything,
do
we
you,
lost like maybe 2 hours.
you guys reconfirm with each other? Like, do you check in with each other? Like, hey, I know we had this argument the other day. Are
Yeah,
we
the
good?
next
Like,
day we
I
did.
want to make sure we're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Do-
yeah, we both
That's
talked about
beautiful.
it and we both like owned up where our part was in it and we just moved on. It was really good. I was like, but I could see his therapist and my therapist, you understand, like just
Yes,
the things they've been teaching us, and it was
yeah.
really cool.
That's beautiful right there. That's cool.
See, I go to therapy once a week
Hmm.
for substance abuse and mental awareness
Oh, okay.
because I fell into depression because of my knees last year.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
I was even seeing a therapist back in 2022 to 2023 for almost almost a year and a half due to family passings, 6 family passings in a year and a half.
Oh,
Kane's been
And I
through a
was
lot.
basically drinking my life
yeah.
away. So that woke me up by going to therapy once a week for that. And then this has helped me out going to therapy once a week to help me out. It wakes me up and I get it gives me more focus in my life than anything else. And I don't care what anybody else says to me. I just blow them off and I listen to what my therapist said, hey, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. So
Hey, good stuff.
I try doing stuff that I still have issues. She's telling me don't do this, but I still kind of do it. But
Oh,
it's hard, but
oh,
it takes time to do it.
oh, okay.
But it's once a
well,
week. But that's a group session. But if I want to do private sessions, I can do private sessions with her for an hour.
Nice. Nice.
Something said, I went to therapy twice. They both told me they needed a therapist after seeing me. I wish I could be your therapist, but I'm not
Hey.
qualified to. But I really wish like I did become a therapist because I feel like I have such a calming personality and I have such an accepting personality. Like we had a guy in here today, he was tripping out. I don't know
Oh,
who was in here. Kane was in here. He was tripping out, but I don't want to mention his name.
yeah.
But he was tripping out. He was drinking and he was dancing in the
Oh,
box.
I know who
And
you're talking
I was
about.
just like, I realized he was crashing out, but I said, you know what? I said, let me just let him be because I
Oh,
wasn't doing anything. Nobody was jumping in the box. It was just Kane and I really. And Kane was jumping in the box and then Boogie. And the guy kept jumping in the box and he was drinking and he was like getting aggressive. And then he said he was in jail 4 times,
oh,
twice in Mexico, twice in the US. And,
In a month, yeah.
he was talking about his life story, that he was, got a divorce from his wife. He's been with her for over 15 years, and she took the kids, and he's on child support, and he lost his job, and he's just drinking. And I think he was aggressive because I think he wanted me to like retaliate,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to do that, because in my experience dealing with people, dealing with depression, dealing with my own depression, dealing with my own crash outs, right? You
Yeah.
don't want anybody to give you any advice, right?
No, you
So I was just like letting him crash out. And the funny thing is, at first he was just coming in the box and dancing and acting real rough and weird and stuff. And I was just rocking out with him because I was like, I don't know what
Oh
are we
yeah,
gonna
we were
do?
going with the music for a while, and when he was in the box doing the music, and all of a sudden after the music, he started getting he was getting more aggressive.
Oh.
Yeah. And then after a while, like he just calmed down and he took the music off, and then he just started talking. And that's when he told us about his life and what he was going through. And he was almost like challenging me, right? Like,
Yeah.
what are you going to do about it? And I said, yeah. I said, I see why you're crashing out. And I said, yeah. He's like, I'll just keep crashing out. And I said, but you know what? I said, one day you're going to get tired. You're going to get
I
tired of
thought you said he
crashing out.
wasn't crashing out.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get up, and you're gonna want to go and get a job, and you're gonna want to go back to work, and you're gonna want to love again, and you're gonna want to pay bills again. Like, it's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
But it's not right now.
Yeah.
So
And-
crash out,
I mean,
like
Yeah. But then also for me, through the insurance company I have is Aetna. I never knew this until this year, or I mean last year. They actually have case managers that call you about your health, and they go through if you're depressed or not, suicidal, everything. I'm like, so I talked to a case manager for my depression and everything at least once a month. They'll call me up and say, hey, can I call you back on this date in a couple weeks? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
So they evaluate me, they evaluate you by asking you questions like, when was the last time you thought about suicide? When was the last time you thought about having a beer or whatever else? I'm like, I always told them, I was like, you know what? Yeah, there's been times I thought about ending my life because I don't talk to my big sister anymore because of our parents' deaths and everything. Barely even talk to my nephew. I usually talk to my niece. And there's times I said, you know what? There's days I'd rather be with my parents and my uncles that are in heaven right now. So, but I'm not going to kill myself, but I've had thoughts, but I never did it. So
I'm glad you're in therapy, and I'm glad you're working on that, because that is such a slippery slope. And I understand that because I've struggled with my own issues of mental health issues and depression. And I don't talk to my family right now. I don't talk to my brothers, my mom, or my dad, but I don't wish them ill. And I'm sure you too, Kane, you don't wish them ill. And it is sad. Like, one of my brothers just had a baby, but they didn't reach out to me to tell me anything. I found out through my son, because my mother told my son, and I was happy for him. Everybody wants to be happy that when you have a baby, it's healthy, and that's good and everything. But it does make me a little bit sad. But you know what I do is, like, I've learned in my life to just not dwell on things anymore and to just keep it moving. So like that day, I went right back to work, even though I was supposed to like take a break from streaming or take a break from answering client emails and stuff. Because I knew this was on my mind, I just threw myself back into my work, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna think about it, because I know where that's gonna take me. I've been down that slippery slope, and in my past, I was, I don't know what's the word you can use on YouTube for saying the S word, but I was, not wanting to be alive,
Yeah.
and but thank God, with therapy and with just redirection and stuff, I worked through that.
see,
So
for me, middle of March of this year will be one full year I haven't worked at all because my knee issues. I know the last 6 months I had a knee replacement done, but it took 7 months just to go through a procedure, just to have a total knee replacement done. Now I'm gonna have to go through almost half of that procedure again for my left knee. So it's hard on me.
And what Uma was saying, you can't say the yes word, like suicidal. The other way they would say it is, do you feel, or anyway, are you going to harm yourself?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's the other way they'll say it.
That's the other way.
Not
That's what the
suicidal.
case manager. That's what the case manager asked me. So, are you in a mood that you're going to harm yourself or hurt yourself or hurt anybody else that is around you? I'm like, I won't hurt anyone around me, but I may hurt myself. But I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Here in California, they have it's a 211 phone number, and you
Yeah,
can
they
get all kinds of help. It's pretty cool.
yeah they had was it the 988 or something hotline number. It's a texting deal that you
Oh.
can talk to text with people.
Oh, okay. Is that in California too, or is that in another state?
That's nationwide.
Oh, okay.
It's a nationwide hotline for like depression, whatever else. If you have any issues, you have to text it, and then you just text people back.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but I haven't done that yet. I think it's 988 or something like that, or 998 or something like that. It's a hotline deal, but it's a nationwide hotline for depression and everything else that you could talk to professionals about.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Our 211's for everything. It's for all of that. If
Yeah.
you need therapy, if you need free food, shelter, like we have a lot of services free here in California. It's that 211 number.
Yeah, and my the friend that I was telling you guys about with the wife that I went out with to a concert while he was in Texas with his brother-in-law, his son does that for a living just out of high school.
Nice.
So he helps out teenagers,
That's really cool.
and he gets paid. So he texts people back and forth that are teenagers about that whole stuff. I'm like, wow. So I told him, like, well, I'm gonna text you one day and talk to you. It's like, I'm not telling you who I am.
Really.
But yeah, so
That's a big contribution too. Like if you're feeling down, you should go and help someone else. It usually
Yeah.
helps you.
Hi, Snow. We're ending this topic and we're about to move into the fourth topic of
I'll
the
come
night.
back to you in a bit.
That was really good. That was really good, Rob. Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
Welcome, everybody. This is the Great Debate. Great topic so far. Are you guys having a good time? I hope so.
Yeah.
If you're watching in the comments, please let us know how you're feeling about the topic so far. This one is a bit controversial, and I don't want to give too much information about why I chose this topic, because I just want to see what you guys think first, and then I want to say why I came up with this topic. I'm scrolling around these streams, jumping in people's streams, listening to people talk and chat. And then my topic for the next question is the BLK, I have to say it that way, okay? Is the BLK community inclusive to other ethnicities? So if you are part of the BLK community, I want to hear what your thoughts are. And if you're not in the BLK community, I want to hear what has been your feelings being around people of the BLK community.
I don't know why Uma feels like she wants to attack me every week, but I don't know what I did to her, but we're gonna rectify it. We're gonna seek therapy for our problems. That's what we're gonna do right now. Oh wow! Anybody else want to jump in on this? As part of the BLK community.
Well, I mean, there's lots of different thoughts about it due to time and actions, you know what I mean? From the past and the nows, and the wonders about the futures, So
the question is the BLK community inclusive to other ethnicities?
what do you mean by inclusive?
Do you feel welcomed by the BLK community? Accepted, welcomed, participating?
Oh, okay. There's a yes, there's a contradictory there too. There's a yes and no. Some are not welcoming, some are.
Right.
So I know some really good people that are very comforting, but then others are not, you know. They make you feel very comfortable, you know, come join us, this and that. But then you got others, you can feel that energy that, you know, there's not that comfort, there's not that welcoming. You know, it's they want it to be only them or their color or their race, you know.
You bought
So
potato salad with raisins in it, didn't you? Is that
yeah,
why? Is
well,
that
that's what
why
I've
they weren't?
noticed with the past, you know. That's what I've noticed, you know. And after noticing little stuff like that, it's not it's a bit awkward to go back, you know. So yeah, that's what I can
Okay.
share from what I've noticed. But then I've been around some where I've done deals. I'll just leave it like that, where they were very understanding. They were very helpful to, you know, to end some violence that was most prone to happen. So there's some really, really good people, you know what I mean? But there's some really bad people. It's just so contradictory, you know what I mean? There's good and bad. That's all there is to it for me.
Okay. Eli, what's your feelings about it?
Well, I have never seen that type of issues because I know when I was younger, when I was in high school, majority were the BLKs. But you know what? We all blended in together. You know, they'd look at me, you're white, and okay, so what is the difference between me and you? We're human beings. You
Yeah.
know, we learn from each other. And as we and I grew up, and I never had any issues with that. But I mean, it's hard to really. I would not. I would. That's something I would never think about because I teach my children there is no difference between colors, skin, nationalities. We are all God's children. You know, you respect I tell me always respect your elders. Say yes, sir, yes, ma'am. No, sir, no, ma'am. You give them the respect because they're the ones that they molded us as we grew up. They're the ones that made the planet what we are today. You're growing up as we go along. I mean, I get called now at my age of being 57 in May. I get yes, sir, no, sir. It feels weird. But you know what? I teach these young kids, you know, listen, you sit down, you listen to us, and you understand us. So I would never think of like that. It's hard for me to be segregated. I don't believe in segregation. We are all united as one. I don't believe in that.
All right. Rob, what you're the one solo member right now of the BLK
I,
My brother.
community.
I
What
just want to say on behalf of the BLK community, we did not welcome this question at all.
what are
It's,
your thoughts
it's
on it?
unwarranted. Oh, to answer this question, you have to take a side street. So
Uh-oh.
basically, everything within communities is based in today's world is largely based on fear of the unknown. So people act accordingly when they are fearful or just don't know enough about something. So I don't really consider it a welcoming or non-welcoming. It's whether it's more like what do you know and what don't you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I was going around TikTok. I have a friend. He's a controversial streamer.
Oh.
and
Oh,
he
is he?
and he likes to put up topics where he likes to challenge people. He likes to get them to sit on the left side and think about things. So he had the same exact question, and he wanted me to come in as somebody who's not part of the BLK community to talk about my experiences. And my experiences, unfortunately, have been a mixed bag.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's been good. You know, I have BLK friends. They're very welcoming to me. There's nobody sees color. We just all get along.
Yeah.
But then there's the few, you know, that are very, very sure to make you feel unwelcomed that this is a BLK topic, that this is for BLK queens, this is about BLK love, you know, so thereby limiting my participation in the event. So when I was sharing on it, I said that in my experience, because I can't speak for everybody, in my experience, it's been that BLK men have been very welcoming and generous and okay with me, but BLK women have been a little bit segregating towards me. And the minute I said that, he had about 20 people in his room. It shot up to 100 people in his TikTok stream. And when I tell you I was attacked, it was hilarious because we were doing a social experiment, right? Because we wanted to see what would happen. And exactly what I said happened.
Wow.
All of the BLK women came for me and they were saying this and that and whatever. The BLK men were standing up for me and defending me and saying that, as a community, we do have to do better because we are not inclusive to ethnicities. Because they had this one woman, for example, she said, she said, by far, we are the most welcoming community out of all the other communities. And I said, well, I disagree because for me, in my personal experience, it's been the Hispanic Latina community. They've been very, very welcoming, no matter whether you go to the Guatemalan or Peruvian, or Spanish, they've just all been really, really nice for me, my personal experience. So, and that's saying a lot because that's not even my community. My community is the Indian community. I said, so, I disagree, but she got really mad and she said, well, it's just that we're very welcoming to all the other communities, but then they come in and start to invade our space. So my friend, who doesn't sleep a second, caught it. And he said, how could you be welcoming and then talking about people like they're invading your space?
Yeah, there it is.
And they're
Oh,
like,
where is Timbo for this? Where is Timbo for this?
and that's why, like, I really want to hear more from people of the BLK community. How do you feel? Because it was really interesting. They had a whole panel of women and it got really nasty to the point where he had to like kick some of them out of the
Oh
box because they were
wow.
getting really disrespectful, not just to me, but to him. And
Oh,
then all the boxes filled with men, with
oh
BLK
wow.
men.
Of
And it was
course,
such
it
a
was.
change in energy. It was like,
That
it was
does not
calm
help.
and it was soothing.
Uh,
They were talking and they were all agreeing about like pretty much everything I said. They said the same thing. They said that BLK women need to like, do better, do different. And they were talking about, and they were saying worse things than I said. Like I had just made that one comment that, in my opinion, in
oh,
my experience, BLK women have been segregating to me. They were saying things like, well, BLK women have brought down the culture with ratchetness, and we got to go back to less ratchetness. And they were going all. And guess what? Nobody attacked them. Nobody said a word. And that's why when my friend invited me back in the box, I was like, you know what it is? I'm coming to realize it's the color of my skin.
oh,
Because I literally said the same thing at a lesser degree of what each of these gentlemen have said, but I got attacked. These men said worse than what I said, and nobody attacked them. And I
wow.
said, so isn't that something? So
So,
Okay.
it's funny
Okay.
because
Oh,
I will share one more thing. When I was in Vegas, the BLK woman, the bus driver, she was super nice to help me because I use a walker instead of a cane, so I don't fall, because I'm legally blind. But she came down, she grabbed my walker, she put it up on the bus. And the other day when I took the bus, in Vegas, it was a white man, and he would not lift the walker for or any luggage
white
for
heat.
anyone
You got to
because
say
he had
white
he had
heat.
an incident. And then there was a Mexican man, and he picked up the walker too. So it was really something to see. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah. But the white man, like he was funny and all, like he was cool. You know what I mean? But to lift a finger to help, no, he wouldn't do it. Yeah. But the BLK woman, she was super nice, very talkative, like very comforting. So it's like for me, it's been a hit and miss with men and women. Like I said, some are invade the space, or some are very welcoming, like to the point where they're feeding and helping out, and you know what I mean, communicating really well. So it's just a hit or miss with some people, and that's with
This
all
is a
races, not just
really
the BLK
eye-opening
community.
conversation in that room because the room was predominantly BLK, and just hearing them kind of like debate this topic, I was like, this is so interesting
Yeah.
because I picked up a lot of pointers about it. So I wanted to see what you guys thought about it.
Yeah.
All right, that's my topic. I'm gonna give it over to Rob.
Oh, we done? Oh, okay. I was gonna throw a little bit of sauce on there, but if we done, we
Bring
can
it.
move on.
Bring it.
All right. So to go ahead and throw a little bit on to Uma's topic, there's a comedian I know of that basically talks about the Indian community, because he's Indian and whatnot. So he brought up a interesting thought process where he talks about arranged marriages and like keeping it within the culture and whatnot. And and I was like, that's very interesting. So when you brought this up, I was like, I don't really think of it as being inclusive as opposed to like everybody just isolating themselves within their own personal community. Because I don't really think of it as just being a black thing. Because BLK is what you would say. Because some white people do it, some Indian people do it, some Spanish people do it. Um, Not everyone, but each group has their own uh, clique, so to speak. So they're like, oh, well, what's that person doing here? Like, who invited them? And you have to go through this whole gauntlet in order to be accepted. So um, I think it's really just an acceptance thing, to let people know that they don't, like I said, they don't have nothing to fear from you or
No.
from anybody that is from the outside. Like we go, like Eli said, we're all human. We all bleed the same. So like the threat is really just internalized, uh, for the most part. Because a lot of, for me, I get along with everybody, regardless of uh, race, creed, or gender. You know what I'm saying? So I was just told yesterday I'm in a beef with someone. I had no idea I was in a beef with. I was like, oh wow. I was like, oh wow, that's amazing.
That's wild.
Please let them come over here so I can figure out why we beefing. Because I'm just living my best life, and I'm just finding out that we having problems. But so it's just really just an understanding thing. I sit down and talk with this person. I was like, this is why I have no personal beef with you, even though you have a beef with me. And I think really it's just a matter of like, you don't really have to get along with everybody.
No.
I think that's really what it boils down to. A lot of people, especially today, feel like the whole world has to like them. I could care less if people like me or not. Because I know some people are gonna like me, some people aren't. I don't worry about the people that don't. You know,
That's good.
so within each community, it's basically like, what is that person judging me on? And
Yeah.
probably nothing, really. They just want to be accepted by you just as much as you want to be accepted by them. Even though they say they don't want to be accepted, the whole dynamic of the conversation is about acceptance. So they would just
Yeah.
essentially be lying to themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we'll move on to the next topic.
Okay.
Next topic here. Oh, I love this. All right.
Oh,
Is there a difference between an entrepreneur and an influencer? Let's hit it.
an entrepreneur and an influencer.
Kane,
Oh,
is there a difference between an entrepreneur and an influencer? This was a fun topic over the weekend.
Oh my.
That's a good one. Good stuff.
so I guess you've been watching too much Shark Tank there, Rob.
I love my
Good.
sharks, man.
Uh,
Trying to make them deals.
Let's see. And I think there's a slight difference because with the entrepreneur, they're trying to push their ideas and sell it and try to make funds, make money off of it. They're looking somebody to back them up. You know, as we got the entrepreneur, they have the idea, they'll talk about it, but they won't go through with it. Will it really work? You know, it's just an idea, you know. Maybe it's like we're interpreters for the government. Maybe if they should do plan A and instead of doing plan B, and maybe plan C might be better. Whereas an entrepreneur, where you got Musk, who's running our government, not Trump, he's doing plan A minus plan B plus plan C. If you really look at it that way, he's an entrepreneur. He is a Tesla. He's a Tesla man. He makes Teslas. He's the entrepreneur. He's telling Trump what to do. Here's my idea. Go with that. Where you got Trump, who did have a show, he says, you're fired, you're fired. Look what he's doing. You're fired. He's firing everybody, all the government. He's firing people from the IRS. He fired the USA, the aid people. He's doing a lot of firing where Musk is telling him to do what he has to do. It's not Trump doing it, it's Musk.
Eli's gonna be fun on Uma's last question. Really fun as hell.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Psychic.
Well, I heard different. I mean, I heard influencer and entrepreneur. So did I hear that right? I do got an ear
Yeah.
plug. So influencer,
Entrepreneur and influencer. Yeah.
right? Influencer.
Are
Okay,
there
so
distinct differences?
okay, so for me, influencer, it just hits a lot of topics. I know they do some of the similarities, you know, as far as an entrepreneur is about getting that money, making money, you know, creating things. But same thing with the influencers, just getting others to do what they want to be done. And with the entrepreneur, also wants to get others to see their ideas, to influence others, you know what I mean, to buy their products. So that's the way I see those two.
They are different. But I think the reason why, hi Sunny, I think the reason why people get them mixed up is because they do overlap. So I always come on here and say I'm an entrepreneur, right? I actually have a tangible goods and tangible services. I have a tangible center. Even though people on here want to lie on me and say I don't own nothing and I'm nothing. Right?
Oh,
You could look
Heard
it
that
up.
on you, but okay.
Right. You could look it up. I got a whole center and everything. So I actually have a tangible business and I am an influencer, but I'm not really a true set definition of an influencer. An influencer is a personal brand. So when I think, okay, here on streams, we have the influencers, right? The big streamers, the top 10 of the app, you know, those are influencers. They don't really truly have a brand, like a business that they're selling. I'm selling my business. My goal being on streams and doing all that I do is that people would want to work with me, is that people would want to contact me off the streams. They would want to buy my books, buy my clothing gear, book me for a reading, book me for a coaching program, right? Attend my classes. That's what I want out of the streaming thing. That's why I always come here and say, I'm not a live streamer. I'm a content creator. I'm an entrepreneur. Now, live streamers make money, but they make money mostly through social media. So affiliate marketing, being an influencer, selling brands, you know, selling the idea of something, their lifestyle. You invest in their lifestyle. If they're going on a trip, you send them gifts so that they could make money so that they could go on this trip, right? And that's where the difference is. Now, there is the swapping. So like I said, I'm an entrepreneur, but I became an influencer on streams, on TikTok and on here. And I created my personal brand because in people working with me, they found out that they liked me as a person. So they started becoming more interested in my personal life. And that's tied in with my brand, right? An influencer can also become an entrepreneur because even though they started as a personal brand, I am who I am, we've seen influencers become entrepreneurs. Like I think of Role Model. She's one of my favorite influencers, right? And she created the Role Model brand where you could actually get clothing. Her wife Donna makes jerk seasonings, so you can buy that. Donna also made a waist trainer, so they actually started making products. That's a good example of an influencer turning an entrepreneur. And then on the flip side, I'm a good example of an entrepreneur turning an influencer, because I just came here to meet people and to really bring them to my business. But now I'm a top badge. Now I'm a featured show host. Now I'm People's Choice Awards 3 years running in the top 30, right? So it's a crossover, but it could happen. Why? Are you
Well,
an influencer or entrepreneur?
who, me?
Yeah.
I'm neither. I'm a shit starter. That's what I am.
That's the best way I could explain it, as a difference between an entrepreneur and an influencer. But that's why, like, even when I'm on TikTok and I like, my room will fill to like 100 people, and they'll all be like screaming, Uma, 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 like, look at me, look at me. And I keep telling them all the time, I'm not here to serve the whole TikTok community. I'm not here to be TikTok famous. I'm here to serve my community. So if you're not a follower, a team
Yeah.
member, or a subscriber, you could hang out, but I'm not answering to you. I'm answering to these specific people.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way I would say it.
All good.
Yeah. I'm more of a promoter. Like I'm out there just shooting shooting out all the not shooting, shouting out all the people that are doing the dope things amongst the communities, like Uma, and like 20 other people out there that are doing stuff on and off the app. Specifically, people that are doing stuff off the app. In addition, because everybody can join the app and do something, but how do you expand upon that?
And that's the thing, is like, I feel people got to learn what their roles are on here, because I think a lot of people come to streaming and they don't know what they're doing. But there's so much power in learning what you do. I came here and I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I am not a streamer, because I can't do what the streamers are doing. I sit in the big names on this app and I watch them and I'm like amazed, because they're so good at it. They get people to throw dragons and planes and jets and carpets. Huh? You can turn it up. And I could like, and they do it so easily, but they don't ask people to throw it. People just throw it because they know how to like work the crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'll ever get that good, because I don't know, I'm just not that good. I'm not a good influencer, but I'm a great entrepreneur. If you actually need like a service outside of streams, you need some healing, you need a reading, you need coaching, I got you on that. When it comes to streams and like actually getting people to help me with my goals, I struggle, because I'm not a good influencer like that. 11/11.
Let's go. Make a wish.
I wish to be a great influencer.
There you go.
Oh
Get it.
wow.
Thank you, Kane. I'm trying. I am trying to learn it, because I think it's so amazing that you could just sit here, press go live, and then people want to flock to you, and people want to listen to you, and they want to send you gifts, and they want to pretty much pay for you to sit there without you doing anything. I think it's amazing. So I have a lot of respect for the influencers, because I'm like, how do you guys do this? You're amazing.
You know how.
How you think?
Well, no,
I
because
think like a good
this.
influencer. There's influencers.
Well, this is
on
what
here
I
that
tell
make-
people.
They make like 5,000 a day. How?
So this is what I tell people is it's not about the go live. It's about everything you do before you go live. Like people think going live is the it thing. Nah, there's so much stuff going on behind the scenes before you even
That's
get.
true.
Like some people don't even want to get on. They're like, okay, cool. I gotta psych myself up. Where's my coffee? And then they hit the go live button and they become that character. They're
Oh,
I put it this way: influencer to me is like a professional actor. You put on a role, you jump into whatever role that is. That's your lane, and and then when they say cut, it's your trailer, and then you don't come out until it's time to get to the next scene. So
I consider Cloud is in the comments. It's so funny she walked in at this time. I actually consider Cloud a really great influencer. So she's moving up the ladder really quickly, and she gets people to gift her without even asking them to gift her. Like they just be throwing gifts at her. So I would take whatever advice you got, Cloud, for me. She said, did you do your laundry? Did you shower? Did you brush your teeth? Did you clean off your space? That's what I need. A clear slate, chores done.
Is it okay to favorite her? To
Yeah, Cloud's
Is she a
cool.
nice person?
She's really nice. Yeah.
Let's see. Is she
I see what you did there, Kane. See
the last
what
message?
you did there, sir.
Is she the last message?
Got my eye on you.
No, the one above it.
One above it?
That's
Okay.
Kane. Yeah.
Yeah, Kane's the one you can just unfavorite.
Oh, wow.
Kane don't stream.
What's her name?
Cloud.
Cloud.
I can't see it. Is she still there? Cause she messaged like some A's or something.
Oh, he's legally blind, Cloud.
I'm trying.
He's trying.
Yeah.
There she go. Okay, that
There
one.
she is.
Right there.
Emojis.
Okay, got it. You guys are the best. Thank you.
But I really like, and I feel like sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I feel like I'm an influencer when I come on here, and then like people just love what I'm doing on here, and the gifts are flying. It's like, and I'll just be sitting here. I won't have like any content, any show, any agenda. I just come here, sit here, and I go live, and I'm just talking to people. And the
Nice.
next thing you know, the gifts are flying, and I'm like, oh, okay, today I feel like an influencer, you know?
Hey.
But the majority of the time, I work for it. I put on shows, I advertise, I tell people about it. Yeah.
Okay.
And you,
Well,
the way you
I
do
hear-
it,
I hear you're like a good motivator, and I've heard you do some influencing, because I can't really see anybody, but when I do click on I know where my favorites are, so when I do click on you, I hear you, so I can't see who's who no more, but I do hear you, and it's really, really good conversation here.
Oh, thank you
I
so
like
much.
intelligent conversations, good topics, both of you up there, really good topics, even if you're trying to get under people's skins, I mean, you still got good topics.
That's her. That's her. That's
You know
You're
what?
both
'Cause I
awesome,
look at
and you're awesome
all
too down there, so my
I
right or
look at
left.
all of these nut jobs like my family. Like I will always hold everybody to a standard. Because
Yeah.
I think people are afraid of people. So it's like, um let's say if Eli's like a big gifter of mine, right?
Uh-huh.
And Eli's doing something bad. It's like I feel like people would be afraid to tell him, yo, you're doing something bad, because they're afraid the gifts will stop. But because I'm not an influencer, I'm an entrepreneur. I already have my own business. I already make my own money, right? I'm not afraid to say to somebody, yo, that's messed up what you did. Like, that's not okay. That's not cool. And then people will get mad at me for saying what I say, but then they'll think about it and they'll know, like, Uma's not trying to be mean. She's being honest. Like, I shouldn't talk to her that way, or I shouldn't have done that,
Yeah.
And then they'll forgive me, and then they'll come back, or we'll talk about it or whatever, and
Yeah.
that's what I like. I like real conversations and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they had this guy, he comes here. I'm not gonna name him because he's probably in here right now. And he's a big gifter. Like he drops a lot on me when
Nice.
he wants to, because he gets in his moods, right? So when he
Hey.
wants to, he'll drop like a lot of gifts on me, like 50, 60K at one time or whatever. But
That's
then he crossed the line with me when we were on POF. He crossed the line. He said something that was, in my opinion, it was rude to me. It wasn't actually and he didn't curse at me or anything. He just made a statement, and it was about my body in a negative light. And I think he thought he was joking, but I was rubbed the wrong way, and I was like, no. I was like, absolutely not. We're not doing that. I kicked him out my stream. I blocked him. I banned him. I was like, I'm done. Even though he was a big gifter of mine, I couldn't give up,
Yeah.
And then the other app ended, and he came back over here, and he put on a fake name and came into my stream while I was in a versus. And Role Model was in my stream, and she was like, he was gifting me a lot. Like he dropped like 13K on me in a versus. And I'm like, who is this? She's like, you don't know who that is? And I'm like, no, but she's like, but he know you because he dropping a lot on you.
Hey.
And I'm like, and he's like, yeah, and you banned me from your stream. And I'm like, so I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, who the heck did I ban? I ban a lot of people from my stream. I don't care. If you disrespect me, you gotta go. You know? And I'm sitting there I'm trying to think like who it is.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I took your, I'm not going to say which one, but let's just say he said, I took your 50 milli, right?
Hey.
I was like, oh, you. And I'm like, I'm gonna ban you again. And role model was losing her mind. She's like, how are you banning people and they gifting you? And I said, because
That's
they
the
know,
boundary.
like, he knew he messed up and he
Yeah.
crossed the line and I wasn't happy with it. And I was like, nah, you can't hang with me anymore. But
Yeah.
ever since he's been back, Rocket, thank you. Ever since he's been back, he's been cool. Like he's been chilling and not doing anything too crazy. So
He learned his
I think,
lesson.
yeah, you got to be yourself
been a-
on here, you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
I have real friends. I say this all the time. I have real friends in real life. So I love meeting people online and I want to be friends with people, but I only want to be friends with you if you're a real person, if you're genuine. If you're not genuine, I don't want to know you.
Yep. Yep.
Facts.
Yeah, Kane, you do.
Oh, I know who you're I know who you're talking about. He's been a good
Yeah,
boy.
'cause
Oh, I
he
Yeah, I
had an
know.
figured
issue
that
with
one
both
out.
of them. He called them the White Brotherhood.
Oh wow.
The white brother.
Yeah. All right. Hi, Ash. Well, welcome in, guys. We are rounding it out down to the end of the great debate. That was a great question, Rob. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I made cookies tonight. Ooh. He came in earlier. Yeah. Okay.
Here we
Let's
go.
see. My last question of the night.
Put
It
your
is a
seatbelt
deep
on,
one.
Eli.
Oh
Eli's
boy.
gonna get real crazy about it. Okay, here we go. Are you boycotting Airbnb because the owner is linked with the DOGE? Is it DOGE or Doge? How do you say this?
Doja Cat.
Well, the Department of Government Efficiency, led by Elon Musk, or advised, I don't know what Elon Musk's position is with that, but basically, it was recently released that one of the co-hosts, one of the co-owners of Airbnb is linked with the DOGE. And as of recent, a lot of people have been taking to social media and taking screenshots of them leaving Airbnb. Apparently, you could like deactivate your account and then they ask what's the reason for leaving. And people have been writing all sorts of stuff like, I don't support fascists, and Elon Musk is not going to take my money, and all this crazy stuff that they're writing. So people are actually unfollowing, not supporting Airbnb anymore. They're moving to other rental places instead of Airbnb. So I'm asking this question: are you boycotting Airbnb because the owner is with DOGE?
Well,
I'll answer. I gotta trip this something. So no. That's
I'm
already
not
taken
either
care
because we're going to Live Fest and we about to book one. I'm actually on the website right now.
of.
I'm not boycotting anything because I don't know anything about them. Overall, I don't follow news or nothing. I enjoy my resorts. I'm a vacation club member. I get really good deals, so I just stick to that. And I'm also like a hotels.com member, so I enjoy the hotels too. So I've never really messed with Airbnbs, even though I had a client that was an Airbnb owner.
I look forward to disrespecting this Airbnb I'm gonna be in. So
Oh my.
that's gonna be my contribution to the boycott, is disrespecting this Airbnb.
So are you boycotting them?
Uh,
I'm not
I'm
boycotting.
boycotting them by getting an Airbnb and then disrespecting it. That's how I'm gonna do it.
Oh, okay. What you gonna do?
Okay, Pop, if you're gonna disrespect it, how are you gonna disrespect the Airbnb?
Yeah,
In
that
what
could be a
way?
whole lot of stuff.
Ron says he go to a
Look,
Motel
look,
6.
we're doing a mobile gym at the Airbnb. Fun times, sir.
I'm like psychic. I'll support my casinos and motels, hotels. And if the owners are dropping like the owners of the BRBs are
Right.
canceling this stuff, that's their loss. They're the ones that's gonna be losing the money, not you.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to boycott. I'll just support the local motels,
Resorts and stuff, yeah.
because if there's a restaurant nearby, I can walk to them.
Yeah.
Casino nearby, I can walk to them. I won't have to drive out this park and go from there. Like in Vegas, I'll just
I
go
guess
to wherever.
my question is, like, do we draw a line between if you have a business and then your political beliefs? Shouldn't we draw a line? Because, like, okay, I'm an entrepreneur, like I said earlier,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at it as a business, right? And it doesn't really bother me what his political affiliation is. So, okay, if he supports President Trump and Elon Musk and the DOGE or whatever, like, what does that have to do with the business? But do you guys think like that, or you don't think like that?
I like stacks of paper, so I think about how high my stacks could be.
Yeah.
For you, Rob, should be way high.
And then I play that song, racks on racks on racks, racks on racks on racks.
What I'm curious about that is that, like, how they started regulating Airbnbs, and taking from the people that were owning them and doing them. I don't really like that, Those are they just started taking away from, on the side business owners. They still pay taxes in the world. Nobody gets away from taxes, but
No,
they just started smashing them with, you need a permit now, or you get a big old fine. Like, who are you? Where do you come from? How do you attain that type of power to be doing that to people?
See, what I don't understand is why is Musk running our country and not Trump? Didn't we vote for Trump to say when his inauguration day, I want to calm down the economy. I want to bring the economy down. But what's going on with the economy? Still going up. Prices are going up. Prices are going up.
gas price here in Nevada went up like 40 cents
Everything
now.
is going up. So who's actually running our country, Musk or Trump? Musk wants to do this. I want to take everything away from everybody. Why? Because it wasn't my idea. So you know what? I'm going to take everything away from everybody. Trump ain't going to do it. Trump is on Daytona 500 this past weekend, waving in his armored car. Who cares? You're not a race car driver. You're the president.
If you talk about it,
do your job.
You just make them a little extra famous. I don't talk about them at all because I don't know them. Just I let them do their thing. They're already billionaires. Like, what are they gonna attain by suppressing more people? That's all I noticed so far. I think they're just rallying people up for what yet? I don't know yet, but I think they're rallying people up.
But for me, the way I've been hearing by a lot of people in news and everything, what Musk is doing is, well, Trump and Musk, they're firing everybody from the government, all the secretary, like all the departments, because Musk has contracts with all these other companies out of state, out of country for his businesses.
Allegedly. You remember we're on YouTube, so you got to say allegedly.
Allegedly.
Trying to get us canceled over here.
Allegedly, he has contracts with private contractors.
That's wild. We'll just, time and action tells on everyone. We will see what happens. And Trump's, allegedly he's a pro get yourself out the way type person, and everyone makes him billions. Yeah.
Yeah, because allegedly he made billions off that cryptocurrency deal.
I mean, if you really look at it this way too, allegedly Musk with all these Tesla cars, all of a sudden are coming back for callbacks and everything. There's problems with them. Why is anybody investigating Musk? What is he doing to avoid every issue of his products? You know, where
Yeah.
other stuff is like minor, but Musk is just getting away with everything. He's doing this, doing that, telling Trump what to do, allegedly. But it's enough is enough. I want him to step aside because we didn't vote. We didn't vote for him. I didn't vote, but you know what? Trump was voted in, not Musk. Okay.
Yeah.
Trump has his cabinets. Musk is not part of his cabinet. He should not
Nope.
be at the White House. He should not be at the Oval Office. He is a civilian just like the rest of us. He's not an advisor.
Well, to a certain point, because I mean, if he's doing certain stuff, he's been appointed by Trump to handle certain things, you know. But they're both both very empowered right now, highly empowered. So all we
Yeah.
can do is, you know, pretty much
But
wait to see what
allegedly,
they do with their power and where it's gonna take our country.
Trump Musk is going into IRS now, Department of Treasury, whatever other departments, allegedly looking at our personal data information on our stuff, on our taxes and everything else, and what's going on.
Yeah.
He's looking into our own personal information,
Yeah.
which he's not allowed to do.
But he's doing it, right?
Right now,
Allegedly.
I think 3 judges banned that now.
Oh.
That executive order, so he's not allowed to do that.
I'm curious, will he still do it, but no one will say that he's doing it? You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what you know.
Well, allegedly, Trump says he's not doing anything. He's just going in there doing his job.
Oh.
So they did release I saw on the news today that the DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, went through the Social Security records. Did you guys see that?
I heard about that. I heard about that.
Yep.
There's more cases than there is people in our country. So who
Right. And
attained
then they were
who
looking
attained all
at
that
the
digital money?
cases for spending, and it was for people 100 to 300 years old.
Yeah, somebody attained a lot of money. Digital money, you know?
And that's sad. That's sad to know that previous governments, I don't know whether they are Democrat or Republican or independent, but just previous governments were ripping off
The world.
the elderly. That was sad.
And they were making it harder for US citizens to attain our SSI when we need it, you know?
That's why they were saying that we're running out of money for the SSI because it was going somewhere else.
Yeah, but see, that's a lie too, because it's all created digital money. There is no end to digital money. It's just it's delusional created digital money. That's all there is to it. There's no trees that are going to get chopped down for digital money, you know? I mean, they don't even, they were even using plastic cards where your money would go on there. Because I recently just qualified for the SSI. So, you know, they made it really hard. And now they just made it harder where they give you a phone number and you will be on that call for like over 4 hours and never get through unless you go and know someone that knows the right phone number to call. So they got like a bogus number you can call that they give millions of people to call. And then they got another number that you can actually get through. And now you can't even go to the Social Security building and get help. You have to go in there. They'll make you make an appointment and leave.
That's
So
wild.
it's pretty wild, yeah. And that's